I've managed. I decided to put sponge filters in these tanks just to help give it a little bit more agitation on the top surface level, so there's no gunk floating around, and it does keep it a little cleaner. So each one has a sponge filter in it now, except the bottom. That one's still work in progress. I'm not gonna skip it, but I just don't want to deal with that one right now. Let's see. Each one is pretty much, like I said, pretty overstocked with different Medaka. I don't know how I'm going to separate them yet. I've got quite a few in here that are not, the correct colors that I want to breed, but it honestly, it's taking me days almost to catch them and try to get them in here, just because these ponds are so big, and I try to go to one side and then they'll all swim to that side, and then I go to that side and that side, and yeah, it's just chasing them. So I really only got the ones that were either stragglers or not as fast, or I managed to trick them, but it's incredibly hard. So I still have, I want to say I still probably have about double what I've got in the tank so far. But I think as I start lowering the water levels, it'll be a little bit easier to catch. I've just been kind of grabbing plants as I go, and I have some moss underneath the rocks and sticks, and I've been sticking the plants in the little pot bowls in the back. But this one can still use a couple fish. There's not as many in here, and I still haven't really messed with the plants in the back. Well, they seem like they're doing pretty good. The shrimp colony is starting to go up in here too. Every time I get a couple scoops of fish, it usually includes at least 5 different shrimp, 5 to 10 shrimp. So the colonies are growing for those. As far as these go for the plant containers, I grow these plants in aqua soil. I don't have any actual like dirt soil in these tanks that are lined up on this shelf. Just because I try to keep these ones like my clean breeding tanks. I don't want any type of disease or algae growing from it. Although I do have some growing from that, but the shrimp seem to like it, and the fish also pick at it, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, I also, on the top, since I use sponge filters, I'm trying to get some aquatic plants to grow and stick on the top level to kind of help propagate more aquatic plants, and I can spread them out. I also have a couple house plants on top propagating too, just because I like house plants and it's a good way to multiply them, as they really like the aquarium water. So I put some saran wrap on top of the sponge filter in hopes that it actually takes off. I've done it before with this plant and some type of, I think it's called a repens, I'm not sure, but it does pretty good on top of the tank. But I do have a mixture of different aquatic plants, so I'm not sure which ones will decide to grow outside of the water, but the humidity will help them adapt into growing outside of the water if they can, or if they do. So that'll be something to look forward to in the future. As far as picking apart, I'm taking the ponds in one by one. The weather's starting to change, so it gets pretty cold at night. It's starting to get down into 40s, so the plants are starting to die off on the porch. So I'm picking them apart and putting all the pond plants in here just as a holder for if I miss any shrimp or whatnot, they still get a chance to get out of there. Still have a mass amount of plants and fish in these two up here, and then I still have a bunch of fish in this that I'm trying to get out. This one is probably these are all my coal and mutated like fish that I don't want to breed, so they're gonna have their own home separate. But this is another pool. These two are gonna be taken down, and I'll end up taking this one down over here too. So I'll just have these two, and then what's on the shelf, and then what's on that shelf, and then that should be good for this corner. And when I have the shrimp from outside in here, it'll definitely fill up the tanks quite a bit more. I'm likely going to take this tank over here and I'll move it out of the way. It's I think a 4 or 5 gallon and I'll add another tank right here, and I'll completely redo this one. It has right now an attachment side filter. I don't have a sponge filter system for it yet, but I will. I do have these giant sponge filters that do pretty much the same thing as the walled versions. I don't remember the name of it, but the walled versions are really nice because the entire back wall is a filter, and you only have to clean it maybe once a year, depending on, you know, what type of fish you have. But I rarely have to clean mine. It keeps the fish tank really clean. So yeah, just wanted to give a quick update, and then I will show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. Thanks. Alright, so I've decided I'll show one of my most important tools, extending net, the tiny ones. They're great for if you have tiny little selective fish and for hunting snails down. So I usually try to get them in, and a great time to do it is when you feed them, just because they also go straight for it. The only negative side effect to waiting to when you feed them is they're so quick to lay eggs. So even if I fish all these snails out, I guaranteed in a couple weeks there will be tons of tiny little snails, just because there's probably eggs all over the plants and on the glass and rocks. But this will definitely help control it. So usually I'll try to congregate them all in one spot. So I really should get like some type of freshwater pufferfish that I can feed these guys to. I'd have to have a lot though, just because I have so many snails. I don't know what to do with them. Man, it's such a slow process. And I bought a little device. I'll show you guys real quick, one sec. So I have this thing, which is advertised to where if you just roll it against a glass, it'll suck up the snails into a little compartment, but it doesn't work like at all. It just kind of sucks up the snails and then it spits them right out. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend it at all. I haven't found a good way to control the snails other than not feeding them as much. But I don't understand how, like, if you have live plants, you're essentially always feeding them, because they always end up eating them if you don't feed pellets. So there's no winning on the snails that I found. But yeah, you guys can see how much the fish really like the algae wafers. It's a good way to check and see what type of fish you have in there also. So I've got, looks like a bunch of different orange. One of them has, actually a couple of them have really pretty eyes, really bright blue. So that's really cool. I really like the fish in this one. It's a really nice variety. Let's see what the other ones look like now that everyone's eating a pellet. There's some really nice ones in here too. I remember I took two of the more sparkly looking ones and I had them breed, and this is their offspring, a lot of these. So they picked up a lot of the traits of the other ones, so that's pretty cool. Wow, the eyes on some of them, it's really nice. I've got a tricolor down there also. A couple wild colored looking ones. Wow, there's a really nice tricolor back there. A couple of them actually. That's cool. Those are going to be a good breeding pair. I'll probably separate those ones. It looks like the pellet's stuck up here, but they're down here collecting whatever drops. It's the lamp eyes. This one has quite a few orange in them. And a couple, I don't know what they'd be called, like galaxy? Like the clearish looking ones. They're pretty common. I don't really breed them as one of the varieties. But They do pair well with other varieties. Like if you mixed one with the black, you'd get some pretty cool colors. Where did your guys' pellet go? Did I drop one in here? Must be on the other side of the log. Some pretty nice tricolored ones in there. Cool. Yeah, just wanted to show you guys them while they're all gathered up. Alright, so here's another project. Well, it's technically another tank, but it is a project also. This one is a natural soil old tank that I have. It's quite big. I think it's 15, it has to be more than 15 gallons, or 15 exactly. But I have some really nice plants in here that my other tanks don't even have. And this one doesn't have any Madoka in it. It's actually just, I believe what are they, Galaxy Danios? And I think I have Pygmy Corridoras in here. And then some type of killifish that hitched a ride with some plants that I cannot catch. He's incredibly fast. And as soon as I dip a net into here, he disappears into the different plants. But I also have a pretty strong shrimp colony in here also. So it's pretty self-sustainable. I mean, I don't really do much to it. I just kind of let it grow. I have some really pretty plants though. I do feed the fish flakes. And they seem to be hiding somewhere. They must be pretty shy tonight, but there are quite a bit of fish in here. They're just skittish. But yeah, I guess I'll do a before and after on this one too. It's gonna take me a while to clean this one up. This one looks incredible when it's actually cleaned out and has clean water in it, and usually I have a little sponge filter going in it also, but I wanted to give it some time to have the plants grow into it and just let it do its thing, and it definitely has. There's a lot of life going on. All right. So I ended up removing the wad of plants on top of the rock structure, but check this out. I've found a lava rock that has, I believe it's some type of hydrocotyle plant, but I'll end up just putting it on top, so I'll still have some type of plant that can grow out of the orbs. But yeah, it's starting to look pretty good. Getting close. Alright, so here we are. We finished this orb, this 15-gallon ball. And my fish have decided to finally come out. They seem a lot happier now that it's filled up. But I trimmed quite a bit, more than I thought I was going to. This is a natural soil tank, so everything grows back quite quickly. I added that rock up there with the hydrocotyle, so hopefully I can get that to peek over the top. There's a couple other plants. I have a moss ball over there, and yeah, there's not much. Oh, there's one of my Pygmy Corridoras. So I think I have like 12 or something. Quite a few. I know that seems like a lot, but they're always constantly hiding, so you really don't see them too often. And then there's the random killifish that snuck into the tank. I actually have quite a few of them throughout the tanks. I got them from a plant package that he survived in without water. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this one looks. I'll probably give an update on it in like a couple weeks to show how it grows in. But yeah, thanks for watching.